Technology Promotion from 2021 to date. Committee of Pro-Chancellors of State-Owned Universities between 2023 to date. Professor Ayodeji Omole is a member of several professional associations within and outside Nigeria, among which are the Council of Forest Engineering, United States, Commonwealth Forest Products masses through his activities with several groups, such as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, where he has served and is still serving from 1998 till when he became the chairman from 2016 to 2020. As chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, he was reputed for his courage and fearless criticism. His administration brought a lot of innovation into the activities of the union, both at the branch and at national levels, among which is the construction of the ultra-modern secretariat for the University of Ibadan branch. He also initiated and established a special welfare scheme called End Well as part of a retirement plan for members of the union. Professor Ayodeji Omole from LAUTECH Alumni Association Worldwide 2020, Award of Honor and Meritorious Service, Oyo State Government 2021, Award of Honor and Meritorious Service, Committee of Pro-Chancellors of State-Owned Universities 2022 and 2024, Award of Honor Tree Club, University of Ibadan 2021, Distinguished Alumni Award by the Federal University of Technology Akure Alumni Association 2023, Fellow Nigerian Institute of Policy Management and Leadership Development 2023, Justice of Peace of Oyo State 2022, and Fellow African Forum Scotland Center of Policy Research and Development, Glasgow 2023. Professor Ayodeji Omole has supervised many undergraduate students, 27 master's graduates, and 5 PhD graduates. He is presently supervising 4 other ones. Professor Omole is one of the researchers who pioneered research in veneer lamination of goods cement board, as well as utilization of used engine oil as a wood preservative. He has taught as either adjunct or visiting scholar in many Nigerian universities and also in the Sierra Leone. He has equally served as external examiner to many universities within and outside Nigeria. As a dedicated researcher who is actively involved in community service, he has collaborated with other scholars to publish over 100 research articles in reputable peer-reviewed journals. Professor Ayodeji Omole is happily married to Olori Nimota Oluwatosin Omole, and they are blessed with 2 promising children, Babajide Lanrewaju and Bukola Adediwura. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me at this juncture to say that it is someone that bears this type of name called Omole that can deliver this type of lecture. Let me now invite Professor Ayodeji Omole to present his lecture tonight, titled Walking in the Shadows of Death. Professor Omole.
The Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academy, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Innovation and Strategic Partnership, the Registrar, the University Librarian, Provost of the College of Medicine and of Postgraduate College, the Dean, Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, the Dean of other faculties and of students, Director of Institutes, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As I stand before this audience to present my 561st inaugural lecture of the University of Ibadan for the 2023-2024 academic session, I recall the last discussion with my late father, Professor Morakiyo Lanrewaju Omole, on 19 September 2005. He charged me to be focused in whatever I do in life, and I should make sure I carry out all given tasks with courage and integrity. He equally said, I might be exposed to many dangers, but I should always remember I am not in competition with anybody as I run the race of life. I never had any clue as to what would happen as he passed on the following Monday, 26 September 2005, exactly 1 week after. Coincidentally, today, 19 September 2004, makes it exactly 90 years that I had that discussion with my beloved father. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I feel highly privileged to join the Inaugural Lecture Roll of Honor of this great university and to further extend the frontier of knowledge in the area of forestry and allied discipline. May I use this opportunity to thank the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Aderonke Bayeroju, and the Dean, Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, Professor Adejoke Akinyele, for making it possible for me to deliver this 561st inaugural lecture on behalf of Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources. The first inaugural lecture in any area of forestry in Africa was delivered at the University of Ibadan by late Emeritus Professor Samuel Kolade Adeoju from the defunct Department of Forest Resources Management in 1978 with the title, Our Forests and Our Welfare. The last two lectures from the forestry family in this university were in the area of wood and fiber science. The two lectures border on efficient utilization of wood and wood products for national development. My first encounter with forestry as a professional was in 1986. I had visited my uncle at Oweno Idesha to spend some days with him on his request. I didn't meet Baba at home, Pa Joseph Ojo Apalowo. As I waited for him, he came back. Upon his arrival, I prostrated. He told me he was going to attend a meeting with some Ubi Tonya farmers who were to be engaged in the establishment of teak plantation through collaboration with Oyo State Forestry Service. The following morning, I followed him to the forest, where he had just been assigned the responsibility of coordinating the farmer for plot allocation and monitoring of their compliance with the guidelines of the practice. Reluctantly, I participated in the allocation of the plot. It was, however, a very tedious work, and I got home very flat and tired and completely worn out. I reluctantly joined Baba to the forest on the following day, along with others. However, I was commended for the expertise in the plot allocation and demarcation, and I ended up participating in the exercise for the next 5 days. My jungle experience. My admission into the Department of Forestry and Wood Technology, FUTA, Nigeria, was facilitated by late Professor T.A. Afolayan, who was then the Dean of School of Agric and Agri-Technology. I had applied to study mechanical engineering in Unilorin, and while waiting for my admission, I traveled with my father to Akure on a visitation to some of his old friends. While on the journey, we stopped over at FUTA to see Professor Afolayan. He asked about the status of my admission, and my father replied that we are waiting the admission letter into Unilorin, having met the cutoff by merit. Professor Afolayan then suggested that I should change to FUTA because the university was about to commence School of Engineering and Engineering Technology, and that I would be one of the foundation students of the school. This looked attractive to me, and I immediately wrote a letter of change of course to change of institution to FUTA in Professor Afolayan's office. However, my admission to FUTA was delayed By the time it eventually came, and I was offered admission into forestry program in the Department of Forestry and Wood Technology. I reluctantly took the offer, and today the rest is history. I joined the services of the University of Ibadan officially as an assistant lecturer in December 1997, having been conscripted by the door of Professor S.O. Bada and Emeritus Professor E.P. Lucas few months earlier. After my NYSC in the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory, I had decided to remain in Abuja because I already registered a business name and I have made some contact in my desire to join the business world. I came home to see my father and inform me of the next step I wanted to take. He carefully listened to me. This was strange because my father ordinarily would have asked many questions in quick succession. After making my submission, he handed over a postgraduate admission application form to me with a clear instruction that I should fill and return immediately. As an obedient son, I filled and submitted the form within 2 hours. He collected the form, attached a note to it, and directed me to see Chief now Obakayo Deolusa, the then Deputy Registrar and Secretary to PG School. From PG School, I was then sent to Professor E.P. Lucas, who was the HOD of Agricultural Engineering. Professor Lucas received me well. After about 5 minutes of interview, he immediately recommended me for admission and directed that I take the memo back to postgraduate school for me to get my admission letter. My proposed journey back to Abuja was truncated by this development. Mr. Vice Chancellor, immediately after my master's, I rushed back to Abuja to resume my dream of becoming a businessman. Few months later, I got information that Professor Lucas was looking for me. On getting to Ibadan, I was directed to the University of Agriculture Abeokuta to see Professor Ola Adams with the intention of picking up a teaching appointment with the university. I attended the interview at UNAB but was not appointed because I didn't have a PhD degree. Professor S.O. Bada of the University of Ibadan was one of the experts at the interview panel. I came back to see Professor Bada, who had earlier been looking for me at Ibadan and coincidentally found me in Abeokuta. On getting to the Department of Forest Resources Management, the file for forest operations, FRM 319 course, was handed over to me with the instruction that I should start teaching immediately. I, however, got the shock of my life when I eventually received my letter of appointment and my salary was put at 16,632 naira per month, per annum, equivalent of 1,386 naira per month. This to me was like a sentence to perpetual penury. I complained to Baba Lucas, as we fondly call him, about the pay, and he asked me 3 questions. Do you know as a Newton? I said no. Do you know Michael Faraday? I said no. Were they relevant to your training here? I said yes. Immediately I answered the 3 questions. Baba Lucas, without looking up, said, "You are a silly ass. Everything about life is not money. You have been asked to come and contribute your quota to the knowledge industry." The result of my engagement with Professor Bada and Emeritus Professor Lucas led to my journey into the jungle that is fraught with confusion, challenges, and uncertainties. This is better described as Irikerido. Whether I like it or not, I have to navigate through these difficulties, uncertainties, and the complex terrain with caution, wisdom. According to the scripture, God created man into the environment and rested. But since God created man, neither the environment nor the man has rested. This is because man has been engaging and manipulating the environment in search of food, comfort, and even wealth, particularly given the profit orientation and market agenda of the capitalist ideology that govern the global political economy. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the use of plant as industrial raw material stand in the importance to their use as food directly or indirectly. Today, wood is still the chief world structural material for building and other constructional purposes. And for tree to be useful, it has to be harvested. The branch of forestry saddled with this responsibility is forest engineering. Forest engineering is a specialized discipline within engineering that focuses on forest road design, harvesting system, erosion control, forest operation, safety, and risk management. The global history of logging was a story of courage, overcoming great hazard and difficulties to achieving success and failure in a struggle to provide some of the necessity of mankind. In those days, loggers were required to pioneer development and for extraction of timber in the form of roundwood and sawn timber. In spite of the challenges, the logs still came out of the forest as all the mighty obstacles of the nature were overcome by loggers, who has never known the phrase, "It can't be done." Machines such as power saw, tractor, cable system, etc. have been introduced into wood harvesting with considerable operational success. Apart from conventional method, a considerable volume of wood has been reportedly cut down through hydraulic shear, while higher volume has been hauled through cable system and helicopter in plantation. In developing countries, manual and semi-mechanized logging operations still persist. The persistence of this archaic system include availability of cheap labor, exchange rate, and others. Logging techniques varies from country to country and from forest stand to forest stand. Logging technique is aimed at minimizing costs, breakages, damages, and accidents. To be able to achieve this, there is need for proper planning. And in spite of the variation that exists among countries in terms of wood harvesting, the objective remains increase wood production, avoid losses in quantity, reduce physical stress, and protection of the protective capacity of the forest. To be able to achieve the aforementioned objective, planning is the only way. This objective has been my research focus in the last 30 years. Mr. Vice Chancellor, as a true and proud African, rooted in the African cosmology, my scholarship and research can never ignore nor discountenance the African dimension to tree cutting, which is highly immersed in mythology. In African mythology and religious practice, tree holds significant spiritual and cultural importance. Cutting of tree is considered a deeply disrespectful and dangerous act with both spiritual and societal repercussion. The belief is that these trees are not just plants, but are living entities with spiritual power. In some cases, if a sacred tree must be cut down, elaborate rituals and sacrifices are performed to appease the spirit and to ask for forgiveness. This process often involves consulting a priest to interpret and to determine the appropriate offerings. There are some signs, if it appears, it is considered a warning from the spirit, and the tree should not be logged, as it may bring misfortune. To counteract the potential negative effect of logging, some loggers carry protective charms or talisman believed to shield them from the harm and appease the spirit associated with the forest. For example, one of the most revered trees in Yoruba culture is the Iroko tree, which is believed to be the dwelling place of a powerful spirit called Oluwere. The Iroko is seen as a guardian for the community, and harming or cutting down an Iroko tree is believed to bring misfortune, madness, or even death to those who commit the act. Omode buroko, ombojuweyin, ojokolu lori panu. The repercussion for disrespect to Iroko diet doesn't happen instantly. The Iroko tree is feared and respected, and offerings are made at the base of the tree to appease it. Another tree is known as Oshe, the baobab tree. The baobab tree is associated with long life and is often regarded as the connection between the living and the ancestors. The baobab tree should not be cut, and cutting it down is seen as severing the tie between the ancestral spirit and the living. Various myths and folk tales narrate the consequence of cutting sacred tree. For instance, there are tales of individuals who cut down trees and suffer their consequences, such as being haunted by the spirit, experiencing personal tragedy, or bringing calamity to the community. The reference of sacred trees reflects the deep respect the Yoruba have people for their environment and believe in the interconnectedness of all things. Education, religion, modernization, sciences, and forces of global capitalization have, however, largely tampered with this myth in Africa in general and Nigeria in particular. It is in this contemporary scientific context that my scholarship as a forest engineer is rooted, and what I have done in this regard is the subject matter of this inaugural lecture. Tree felling operation in tropical forests are more difficult when compared with the temperate forest. Tropical forests usually grow in mixed stand composition with crown interlocked or interconnected with woody climber. The essence of damage associated with felling in tropical forests started to attract the interest of research workers since the 1950s, with series of papers published to qualify and quantify the nature and extent of damages associated with felling operations. These are already documented in the work of Dawkins 1958, Redhead 1960, Nicholson 1979, Jonkers 87, Henderson 1989, and Omole 2000. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me at this junction to mention my modest contribution through research activities. My area of research focus are forest engineering and utilization of logging residues, wood maintenance and wood protection, municipal tree management and utilization of urban wood. I have worked on so many areas of forest engineering and utilization of logging waste, dynamics of felling trees, forces exerted during felling, impact forces and dynamic stresses, visually assess damage portion, reduce impact logging, adaptation of economics by loggers, occupational safety and health in logging operation, and promotion of environmentally sound logging harvesting system. In my effort to design or propose an appropriate felling method, which will not only minimize incidental damage, but also ensure the production of good quality logs that will be structurally acceptable, investigations were conducted on wood felling techniques in tropical forests with a view to estimating the magnitude of the dynamic stresses induced in the wood of the fell tree, the forces generated at impact, and the damage associated with the tree fall. In the study carried out by Omole 2000, Omole 2005, and Omole 2010 at Cheshire Forest Reserve, Osun State, where intensive logging operations were taking place, it was observed that wide variation existed between and within species in terms of total height of tree, volume, density, moisture content, and others. The maximum dynamic stress induced in the tree at impact were well above the ultimate stress in static loading. Damages induced in tropical trees. A major constraint to the quality and quantity of wood utilization from logging is incidental damages. In the study carried out to assess the magnitude of incidental damages during the felling of some Nigerian hardwood species, Omole 2000, Omole 2005 reported that there are wide variation in tree characteristics. Visual assessment showed that the degree of damage expressed as a percentage in the study species ranged from 6.25 to 13.15%. The regression model, however, has established that the magnitude of damage portion had significant relationship with tree height, volume, and weight. In another study carried out by Omole 2005, to assess the productivity of two logging methods, conventional logging system and reduced impact logging. Results show that reduced impact logging could reduce damages to residual stand by close to 50% when compared to conventional logging system. Statistical analysis show that productivity in reduced impact logging was conventional logging system, but largely depend on the volume of the harvested tree. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, through this study, we demonstrated that harvesting operations, which are adequately planned and supervised by trained and motivated personnel, could satisfy the requirement for sustainability while simultaneously reducing harvesting costs by substantial margin. Ergonomics says, and the physiological aspect of loggers' work. The hazard associated with logging operation comes in several ways, ranging from the of concern in forest operation because of the associated high rate of injury and death. The accident, this is due to lack of adherence to safety regulation, poor training of logging workers, difficult terrain and weather condition, inadequate tool and machine, poor planning and others. In countries where wood harvesting have been mechanized, reported accidents have declined significantly. Between 2002 and 2010, my team assessed the type of hazard that logging crew were exposed to in Nigerian Forest Reserve. The sites were Shasha Forest Reserve, Osun State, Oluwa Forest Reserve, Ondo State, Omo Forest Reserve, Ogun State, all in the southwest Nigeria. Data collection involved the use of ergonomic checklist, participatory approach, on-the-spot assessment, and oral interview. The results show that common hazard the log felling crew were exposed to were vibration, noise, stress, and mental workload. In spite of the provision of safety rules and protective gadgets, the workers were not using them. They claimed the gadget will affect their safety and efficiency. In the overall analysis, 25% of the loggers have been involved in accident during logging operation. Though the working period was supposed to be 8 hours, 5 days a week, working time, they work 7 days a week, including night. Ìjákùmọ̀ kì í rìn dé ọ̀sán, ẹni abíire kì í rìn dé òru. This is the lot of most loggers in African tropical forests. They prefer night and weekend in order to avoid distraction and law enforcement agents on the road when transporting their logs. Unfortunately, the daring nature and the aggressiveness of loggers and truck drivers result in their taking of risk and breaking environmental law and ecological law in order to deliver logs to the mill. They are therefore addressed in Yoruba as Agbegilodo Maberuwe. This underscores the loggers' fearlessness of the consequences of their reckless action. Very few workers felt that the accident could be avoided through workers' carefulness, the use of protective equipment such as ear and nose protector, safety helmets, and others. Rather, most of the workers felt that accidents were unavoidable and thus a part of their job. According to them, if they were destined to die from logging activities, there was absolutely nothing anybody can do to avoid it. To the leader of the group, Omole, destiny is sacrosanct. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I also work in the area of wood mechanics and wood protection. Efforts were made to determine the basic properties of some lesser known wood species and identify their utilization potential. Some pioneer studies to assess veneer lamination of wood cement panel board were also carried out, and natural durability of some wood species to explore their potential and explore the potential of used engine oil as wood preservative. I have also attempted to use eco-friendly preservative such as botanical extract for prevention of wood. All these are documented in Omole and Onilude 2000 Adetogun and Omole 2007, Adetogun Etol 2010, Omole and Moshood 2014, Omole Etol 2015A, 2015B. Between 1995 and 2013, Oyagade Etol 1995, Omole and Badejo 1999, Omole and Adetogun 2010, Badejo Etol 2010-2011, and Badejo and Omole 2019, carried out several studies to characterize the effect of process variables on the flexural and suction properties of cement bonded particle board produced from wood residues of tropical hardwood species. Badejo and Omole 2013 carried out a study to assess the influence of water treatment, pretreatment temperature, and cement wood mixing ratio on the static and moisture response properties of cement bonded particle board produced from 8 mixed Nigerian hardwood species. The study recommended the optimum temperature to lie between 65 and 80 degrees Celsius. Badejo and Omole 2011 also initiated an investigation to assess the suction and bending properties of particle board produced at varying water-cement ratio with a view to determine the optimum level at which this production variable could be applied. 0.6 was considered at the optimum level for production of stronger, stiffer board for cement bonded particle board. Municipal tree management. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I have also worked in the area of municipal tree management and utilization of urban wood. Specifically, I've worked on urban tree management, risk assessment, the body language of trees, failure in trees, among others. My team equally assessed the quality and utilization potential of urban wood. Mr. Vice Chancellor, municipal tree management in the Nigerian University and risk assessment. University of Ibadan is a case study. Trees in University of Ibadan are important assets that have long been admired for their role in the beautification of the university landscape. These trees, old and hollow, have remained for so many years an inseparable part of the university landscape. Apart from the fact that these trees are of great cultural and social value to the university community, they also have historical significance in the life of the University of Ibadan. The numerous changes in the university campus landscape over the last 75 years have greatly stressed many of these trees, resulting in decline in canopy and poor management, with some of them now posing serious danger to the community. The Yoruba adage that says igi kìí dá lóko kó para lé does not apply in the case of an unmanaged urban trees. Structural defects in trees could likely cause failure of one or part of the tree, and which could strike a target. Between 2003 and 2010, Omole and others assessed the decay characteristics of urban trees in the University of Ibadan with a view to designing appropriate management strategies that will reduce the hazard created by them. Using a checklist and job provide for, inventory of sample trees were conducted on old and young trees. The study revealed that all the stakeholders appreciated the importance of municipal trees on campus. Many of the trees are classified as hazardous. There was low level of awareness among some residents on the benefit of municipal trees, which is evident in the attitude of some residents towards trees in residential areas. For example, driving nails into living trees and setting trees on fire in order to create space for farming were negative activities affecting trees. 5 categories of defects leading to failure were also identified, and most of these defects could be linked to the past wound and decay, such as bowel deterioration, severe storm, and other growing conditions that limit the root development. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, in the past, they used to say, "Kò sí wuluku àfi ìbìrì àpapọ̀. Later, the people said, security situation in Nigeria Forest Reserve. Mr. Chancellor, forest practice in Nigeria in the recent time has become a danger due largely to widespread incidents of attack, killing, raping, kidnapping for ransom by armed men, foreigners, and their local collaborators who have taken over many of our forest estates in Nigeria. The monopoly of violence is no longer an exclusive right of the military, but that of non-state actors. These security breaches are just numerous to mention. The most perplexing aspect of this security challenge is that we only occupy many of our national forests in all parts of Nigeria, from Sambisa Forest in Borno State to many forests in southwestern part of Nigeria, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo State in particular, while Lagos and Ogun are not removed. Forests in the south-east and south-south are not by any means equally exempted from the activities of these criminals. This development is a major challenge to forestry in Nigeria. Since 2013, when Boko Haram insurgents found a safe haven in the Sambisa Forest from where they launched the attack on the state, neither Nigeria nor the forest have ever known any peace. Nigerian forests can simply be described as one of the most threatening in Africa. The need for a vibrant union and the need for strategic engagement by all stakeholders for personal and national development. My interaction and relationship with people during this short period have really assisted in the discharge of my third mandate of my calling, which is community service. I have served and I'm still serving the university in various capacities. All the experiences gathered over the years are valuable assets that have been deployed in the management of human and material resources. I became a member of the school. This culminated into my election as the chairman of the branch in 2016 in a keenly contested election. I did not have any problem aligning with the ideology of ASU, immediately after the system. Having been involved in industrial relations, who was involved in trade union theory and practice, Comrade FDL Omole. Through him, I have met and interacted with the likes of Comrade Olori, Professor, who were then great inspiration in the struggle, but are now late. May their revolutionary soul continue to rest in power. My excursion into the forums of unionism exposed me to many things about the university system in the country. More than ever before, the Nigerian university system is under siege and therefore working in the shadows of death. If nothing drastic is not done faster than anticipated. The university system is captured and has been held hostage by many government policies, especially since the advent of the so-called civil rule. Mr. Vice Chancellor, with the advent of civil rule in 1999, Nigerians who had earlier assumed that the university system would be better run were however disappointed by President Olusegun Obasanjo. The Obasanjo administration is famous Lucy, marketed by William Saint of the World Bank. ASU's mobilization and resistance led to the withdrawal of this product. However, the product has since been repackaged, rebranded, and reintroduced through succeeding administration in the name of TSA and IPPIs. IPPIs is a mismatch with university work structure. It is incompatible with academic calendar and a clear violation of the University Act. Therefore, it is illegal. Only in Nigeria is the database of scholars surrendered to foreign agencies in the name of cutting costs, the effects of which are threatening the very existence of the university system in Nigeria today, because it is now impossible for university to recruit even cleaners. Many of our teachers are retired, and many are on their way out of the system after attaining the retirement age of 70 years. This coupled with Japa syndrome of the younger ones and no provision for replacement continue to threaten the foundation of scholarship. The former Accountant General of the Federation, who was the major proponent of imposition of IPPIs on the university system because he wanted to fight corruption, however, helped himself with public funds running into above 128 billion naira. Although he is a regular visitor of EFCC, the university system is the one suffering from this reckless policy. The proposed imposition of CC marks by NUC is another policy that will kill the university faster than expected. The Nigerian government and the so-called development partners should allow the university to breathe. The rigid standardization will definitely limit the university ability to innovate and design programs to meet the societal need, because local content and flavor are ignored. It will kill innovation and creativity. We should rather be talking about quality and excellence rather than minimum standard and lowering the overall academic quality, thus cleaning critical thinking. Unfortunately, Mr. Vice Chancellor, many directors of academic planning in our various universities are struggling to be the first to impose this scheme on their universities in order to be in the good book of Abuja for political patronage at the expense of the university system. I felt sad that the University of Ibadan Senate eventually came in from its earlier collegial style in opposition to this anti-intellectual policy that is designed to further put the university system under perpetual slavery. This is as a result, just like a typical forest engineer working in the shadows of death, Nigerian university systems are already working in the shadows of death. Nigeria can no longer run an ideal university due to regular interference from government and IMF. Vice chancellors are regularly summoned for briefing, sometimes twice a week, and therefore are not allowed to run the university they are appointed to run. Mr. Vice Chancellor, what is an ideal university? An ideal university is more than just a place for acquiring knowledge. It is a community dedicated to fostering growth, innovation, and positive change. It prepares students not only for career but also for meaningful lives as informed and responsible global citizens. Universities are supposed to be the training ground for producing critics and serve as watchdog of the society. Academics by training and tradition are critics. Good academics should be able to criticize policies that are inimical to national development. Scholars worthy of the description should be vocal in their resistance to foreign exploitation through the imposition of neoliberal policies. In most instances, patriotic vocal academics and unionists are hated by establishment and university administrators. They are categorized as radicals that should be dealt with and sent out of the university for teaching what they are not paid to teach. Ironically, every financial gain the university system has been able to make in Nigeria today is as a result of the struggle of ASU, which I belong to proudly. Mr. Chancellor, on the 27th of November 2019, the Oyo State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, inaugurated a committee to seek a Sure. Immediately after the appointment, some of my close friends who visited me in my office were of the opinion that the governor had sent me on a suicide mission. Because to them, it was an impossible mission. But as a professional forester who has traversed many troubled forests, and with the support and encouragement of many other friends, I remained focused. I was convinced within me that the only option left for the survival of the university was the one being taken by the state government. A position which had vigorously been canvassed by ASU, though appear to be unpopular. I approached the task with courage and integrity, just like my father shouted. Exactly 1 year into the inauguration, and with the support of eminent citizens within and outside the state, we were able to achieve smooth and seamless dialogue. Today, I serve as the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the University, and together with other members of the council who are here today, the university has been returned to a world-class university of first choice. Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished audience, you will agree with me the perilous nature of the work of a forest engineer in Nigerian forest estate, particularly with respect to the nature of the profession and the challenges of insecurity in Nigeria. The constant exposure to these conditions while practicing is life-threatening and can lead to mental issues and even sudden death. Forest engineers often find themselves working in the shadows of death while on duty. Designing and constructing roads for logging operation requires navigating difficult terrain. Though with significant personal risk, forest engineers will continue to play a critical role in managing and protecting forest resources because their work is vital for supply of timber, pulpwood, and other forest produce to meet the demand for wood and fiber material for national development. Recommendation. There is need for enforcement of Factory Act for sawmilling and logging industry in the country. 2, there will always be interaction between human being and tree in urban setting. Removal and correction of tree defects should be done to reduce the risk posed while not neglecting replacement. Special funds should be allocated to forestry so that we can help combat illegal logging, land encroachment, and other activities that lead to deforestation. And federal and state government should take a cue from the University of Ibadan and Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources in their efforts to rehabilitate Ibadan watershed and restore the ecosystem. Slave wage severely undermine the commitment of workers to national development and have broad damaging effect on the country, economic, social, and political fabric. To ensure sustainable development, it is essential for government and other stakeholders to ensure fair and adequate compensation for all workers, fostering a motivating workforce that is fully engaged in the pursuit of national progress. Acknowledgement. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I will not end this inaugural lecture without appreciating a good number of special people who have contributed immensely to making me who I am today. I want to start by appreciating God Almighty, Olodumare, the giver of life, for granting me the privilege of having the opportunity to be alive to present this lecture. I also appreciate my parents who struggle hard and put in their best to see that I become successful in life. My mother, Mrs. Bukola Comfort Adetumobi, and my father, Professor Morakeyo Ajile Omole, DAPOK himself. I thank you for introducing me to the world. My late uncle, Mr. Omole, however, introduced the world to me as a young and adventurous boy who was ever inquisitive to know why certain things must not be buried in life. As a prince from the royal family, I want to appreciate the noble people of the great Afin community of Ibadan, especially Kabiyesi, His Royal Majesty, Oba Victor Ojolasade Adetono, JP, the Odagbaraga Paul, the Owa of Ibadan. The elders of Afin community, Aremowale Obiomade, Princess Oladimeji Ajibade, Debo Ajibade, Debo Adepoju, Gbega Adelaide, Gbado Oladimeji, and others. Ọmọwa, ọmọ ẹkùn, ọmọ kan kògbèrò, ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mọ́ta mọ́ra wọ̀nyí. Thank you very much. When I reflect on the journey we have undertaken together, my heart is filled with deep appreciation. The success we are celebrating today is not mine alone, but a testament to the strength, unity, and unwavering loyalty of our forefathers who established the kingdom. I would like to express my gratitude to all my teachers for their guidance and support throughout my journey in life. I acknowledge Professor Eso Bada, J.S. Osho, J.S. Wape, Eso Akindele, Babatola Olufemi, Babatunde Ajani, and others. I acknowledge my supervisors at all levels of my academic course, late Professor Amos Uriege and Solomon O. Badijo, Professor Emi Onirube Isoye, and Emeritus Professor Emmanuel Babajide Lucas. I acknowledge the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, Professor Kaobi Adebowale Ibadan. Some past Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Omole Adewale, under whose tenure I was recruited in 1997. Emeritus Professor Ayodele Folashe, who appointed me as the Operations Manager of Campus Management Committee in 2002. Emeritus Professor Dufek Bamiru, Professor I.F. Adewale, and Professor Idowu Olayinka, under whose tenure I was promoted professor. I acknowledge the support of the comradeship of my childhood friend, Wande Seso Adebayo, Sunday, Johnson Adeosho, and others. I acknowledge members of the faculty, the dean, the past deans, the professors, the sub-dean, the HOD, the exam officer, and all others. My gratitude goes to Professor Adejoke Akele, the dean, Professor Lakobe Ukuola, the current Mogaji of the forestry family, and others. I thank Professor Adekunle Adetobo, my mentor and consultant, D.O. Oke, our first indigenous HOD in Futa. I thank all my colleagues, friends from Futa, UI, and Funab. I wish to appreciate the ASU family, true comrade president, for the good relationship we enjoy in our struggle and effort to save public education in Nigeria. I want to appreciate past chairmen and other leaders of the branch, Comrade Adeodun Adebayo Salam, Wole Abaton, Ademola Are, Shegun Ajiboye, Bembestic, and others. I appreciate late Professor Bayo Remi, Alex Boyega, Idowu Iwebo, and Shola Olokule, my mentors in the union at the branch level, who provided me with the emotional support when we were near harassed and intimidated as leaders of the union during President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime. The profession of Jingo, aka Babasukutu, made it possible for me to express myself as a body activist without intimidation and harassment. I want to appreciate members of the ASU Secretariat Project Committee. History will be kind to you for the selfless service. A number of people provided support for me in my ways in the course of my academic career in the University of Ibadan. I want to appreciate my brother and friend, Comrade Adelaja Odutola Odukoya, Chiama Mao, Josiah Olúṣẹ́gun Ajíbóyè Bẹ̀m̀bẹ́, Peter Ọlákìjẹ́ Ọlápẹ́bá, Jùwọ́n Arótíbá, Múkálà Olújídé and others. In moments of challenge, you stood firm. In times of opportunity, you seized the day. Together, we have built a future that reflects the value of our ancestors, while forging up a path that future generations will honor. I thank the Oyo State government under the leadership of His Excellency, Engineer Uche Makinde. I owe a lot of thanks to Oyo State Negotiating Committee of Sole Ownership of LATEC, Professor Daoud Emesofodoyin, General Nada Olóyè Ọ̀gágídé, Ambassador Ìbírúnkẹ́ Adéfókè, and others. I appreciate the group under the chairmanship of Shegun Ajíbóyè. His name is coming up too frequently. The Ojuole family under the leadership of Professor Mojeed Akinsola Baale. The Senior Citizens Club, I've seen Babamisadu and Professor Owa. I will forever remain grateful to a member of my extended family, the Greoke clan, the Dagmolo Rule House, for their support and encouragement. My appreciation goes to my uncle, Elder Adegoke, our mother, Mrs. Ibokwesta Omole, my senior brothers, Prince Adedayo Joel Omole, Engineer Pastor Emmanuel Oludare and his wife, and others. I want to appreciate my darling wife, Olori Lemota Oluwatosin Omole, for her unquestionable love and support. She has been able to take care of the children, tolerate an absentee or ceremonial husband who is always on the move, and endure my rigid position on some issues. I thank my children, Prince Babajide Lariwaju Omole Baba, Princess Oluwadukola Adedura Yejide Omole Buki, for their understanding, respect, and love for me. To my wife, I say thank you for the patience and support, and keeping my children in warm company. Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished audience, I vow to continue living with humility, honor, and purpose that you so richly desire. Our prosperity is shared. Our victories are mutual. And it is with a grateful heart that I stand before you today, proud to call you